So we have one more material. It's not in the field of construction, but it's in the field of air traffic control. We are a small country. The European is reorganizing. He wants one single sky. And where are we as Slovenia? I ask Dr. Tone Magister to represent in the name of Slovenia a little bit this point of view. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to present you Slovenia Control. First of all, I have to apologize to you because I cannot be half that interesting as my predecessors. Slovenia Control is Slovenian air navigation service provider. We are designated to provide services in Slovenian airspace by national law. We are certified to provide air traffic services, communication, navigation, and surveillance services, aeronautical information services, and we are certified to train our operational personnel. How many are we are 226 heads, and we are proud that we have a lot of women amongst us. And if you look in this table, no female technicians so far, but hopefully the first one will be completing the training this year. Air traffic services are provided in the Slovenian FAR. Our main headquarters are located at Ljubljana airport. There is an ACC building from where we provide area control service to you and approach control to Ljubljana. As well, there is a FIC center you are contacting with while you are flying in GNE class airspace. The Ljubljana Tower is located there, but not at the precise same location. We are providing the airport control services as well in Portorož to southwest and northeast to Maribor Airport and southeast to the military airport in Cerklje. Our operational conditions are demanding. The Slovenian airspace is quite complex. It counts in the set of 1 of 10 the most complex airspaces in Europe, with huge variability of traffic because the season is twice as dense traffic as in the winter. In terms of flight efficiency, we are dealing with almost no delays and fulfilling the targets of single European sky. Communication, navigation and surveillance services. Most things are spread across the country. All those blue dots are representing that something's there which is used to support air traffic services in Slovenia. The system monitoring and control is done from our headquarters to across the country, and local system monitoring and control facilities for the Ljubljana and Maribor airports as well. Aeronautical information services, they are centralized in Slovenia with main office at Ljubljana airport, but you are always reaching the aeronautical information office through self-briefing facilities provided at airports or from wherever you are via internet. Mr. Ravnak told us that we have to, or we should orient to the single European sky, and in single European sky, what it is all about, well, it is all about an institutional arrangement and of course regulatory stuff concerning performance of provision of air navigation services in a manner to cope with continuously increasing air traffic in Europe, to make a European air transport system as efficient as possible for our customers, which are the airspace users, and from then on your passengers. In performance planning, we have key performance area of safety, environment, capacity and cost efficiency. Well, doesn't work on. The institutional arrangement, it is requirement that provision of air navigation services, or more precisely air traffic services, have to be functionally separated from the oversight of those services, and we are separated functionally since 2004, when our company was actually established, and it was not part of CAA anymore. Designated are since 2004 by law and certified since 2006. The Single European Sky brings us lots of regulations, and we are approaching to a point of regulatory saturation. Oversight and control, this is not a problem at all, but we are controlled quite rigorously. Safety oversight is done by National Supervisory Authority within the CAA. We are under inspections of the CAA, and we are under control of our financial arrangements as well as how we do business. This is supervisory board that supervises us. Of course, we have to have the independent revisions. Owner will do all the supervision as well. By owner, I mean the state, Ministry of Infrastructure, because we are a 100% state-owned company, but we are not financed through budget, and we are as well supervised or controlled by Slovenian Sovereign Holding. For Slovenian speaking, this is Slovenian SDH Holding. Of course, when we are setting our prices, we are actually under control of the stakeholders. Those are airspace users, which will control what we are doing with prices. We are proud that in terms of safety, we increased our safety culture. The spider diagrams, the more they look like a circle, the better they are. The left one is from the past, the right one is current, which is slightly more circular shape, which is improvement, and we are proud of that we are actually doing safety in our company better today than yesterday. Cost efficiency. Cost efficiency is required by law for us. There is some regulation that says performance planning, and European Commission sets us European-wide targets in cost efficiency. In layman speaking, this means that we have to reduce our prices no matter what happens with the volume of traffic, and we actually achieved this cost reduction in past years, and we are projecting the cost reduction because we have to and we want to in the future. In the last period between 2014 and 2019, we are planning to reduce for further 4% per year more. Route network developments, those are 2 FIR route networks in the 1995 compared to 2015. Route network was evolving in those years, and it was added on with direct DCT connection to actually improve the efficiency of airspace usage and to shorten the flights for our users as well. We expect in this November 2016 to introduce SAXPA. What is that? This is Slovenian-Austrian cross-border free route airspace, where no longer in upper airspace routes will be published, and flights will be available to choose the shortest way to cross the airspace of 2 combined countries. Oops, sorry, this is SAXPA. Actually, those on the right were the points of intermediate interest. What we are doing in the operational way to actually bring added value to a Single Sky initiative. We are doing a DAS project with MUA, Maastricht Upper Area Control Center. This is, for the time being, a project which have to develop and deploy a prototype of data service provider which will actually bring a benefit for all of us, namely to develop and deploy a data provider where one ATS unit can provide all the necessary operational data for doing ATS business to one or more than one other ATS provider, and this is what the actually Single European Sky is all about, to do as much as possible from operational point of view to increase the efficiency of our airspace in the growing traffic volumes that are coming to us. I am short because I apologize, I cannot be that interesting than my predecessors, and if you have any questions, I will be more than willing to answer.
So now talking to the right guy here, you believe that we would have air traffic control system that would allow people to take off and land anywhere they want without restrictions in the future?
I'm always listening with my mouth open. I'm sorry. Yes, I think that your dream can be true. Maybe not in our lifespan, but yes. Sorry.
Now, my dream is not actually about taking off from the backyard, so this is actually the opposite of that. But anyway, I mean, the question is that going to happen? Is that going to be possible in the future?
Yes, I believe so, because nobody wants to steal us the G-class airspace, and the G-class airspace is quite elastic in those terms. We have to solve the issues whether or not we can take off from the point where there is not an airfield or aerodrome.
What do you think about drones?
I'm scared of them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please, sir.
Okay, my question is the relationship between civil use and military use of airspace. I understand in the past there may have been areas of concern with the military blocking off the airspace to civil users. Can you comment about how in the future maybe Slovenia will adopt more flexible use of the airspace?
Well, I have to answer not from the point of view of service provider, because we are obliged to do as it is organized. I may provide more or less personal view, because I would rather not to speak in behalf of the country. Flexible use of airspace is introduced in Slovenia, which means that the airspace which a military wants to use for their purposes of training is used only when they are actually using it, not a minute earlier and not a minute too long. And this flexible use of airspace is, from our statistics, actually working. However, the portions of airspace used by our military are still present in the aviation community, and they might represent an obstacle for the general aviation community, of course. However, the flexible use of airspace is enforced and is working, meaning those portions that were in former times closed for all day long, all night long, through the Saturday and Sunday, are now activated only for the actual use, and they are not activated if someone postponed or actually doesn't want to do the exercise itself. So, well.
So, around the area of Postojna GA groups here in Slovenia?
Well, at our webpage there is an interactive map of Slovenian airspace, and whenever our military authorities are issuing the NOTAM for the activities in this area of Postojna or any other area, we are actually putting those informations in an interactive way, which portion of modular airspace meant for military exercises are active in which part of the day. So in those days that we are quite familiar with the internet information gathering, and our kids are even more efficient in that than us, we believe that this is something of a benefit to a community that would have to read the NOTAMs otherwise.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, please.
So I can't agree with you about these zones and restrictions about Postojna, because we are operators. I'm from Aeroport Postojna. We have a huge problem with military, and in former times these restrictions were not so frequent. My question is, how we can, as a civil operator, have influence to frequency of these airspace restrictions?
I expected such a question, yes. But I have to say I cannot give you an answer rather than just a suggestion. There is an entity, organizational entity in Slovenia, as in any other country of the European Union, and this entity actually managed this process of flexible use of airspace. And the civil representatives in this cell are from Ministry of Infrastructure that are responsible for the civil aviation. And our civil representatives should actually bring the voice of our needs into the reality. That would be my question. Well, you have to understand me. We are the air traffic service provider, but we do not own the airspace. The airspace is of somebody else, and this is our country. And the military, as such, has an access to this airspace, and we are not the one who will actually deny this access or in some other way interfere with this institutional right of this military entity. So well, that would be the answer.
Good answer.
Well, I'm sorry I have to be political that way, because I do not represent the Ministry of Infrastructure and I cannot speak on their behalf. That is why I picked words. Yes, please, sir.
Thank you for your views.
Sorry?
Thank you for your comments.
Yes, of course, sir.
Is it possible to organize some free route of flying also with Italy or just for Austria?
Free route airspace for time being will be organized in the airspace of Slovenia and Austria. The free route airspace to Italy is something which will be slightly later on introduced. Well, the reason is that the Single European Skies introduce a mechanism that is called the functional airspace block. And those functional airspace blocks in European Union are actually representing how states 100 or so years ago looked like. And functional airspace block of Central Europe, which we are a member of, doesn't contain Italy. And we are in 2 FOBs, and right now we have to introduce this free route airspace concept into a FOB. We are starting with this cross-border free route airspace with Austria. The free route airspace is already introduced in Hungary. And when we will have this in our FOB, which is Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Hungary, Slovakia and Czech Republic, when this area will introduce or implement the cross-border free route airspace later, the next step will be to dissolve those borders with other FOBs, meaning to the west with the Blue-Med FOB where the Italy is, or to the southeast to the Danube FOB where actually are already doing the free route airspace between Romania and Bulgaria. Previously only at night, nowadays they are introducing this even during the day. So this has to be the stepwise approach. Yes?
And what will be altitude on this route?
Well, the minimum altitude on an airway will be replaced by minimum aerial altitude. We are in a mountainous area, so let's say if you imagine the route between the southeast to southwest, the highest mountain will actually represent the minimum sector altitude. However, everything will be so. You will have published those charts with the flex of minimum allowable altitudes, and flight planning will be automated in a way that if you do not pick appropriate minimum altitude for your flight plan, the flight plan will be temporarily rejected, and the finger will be pointed to the correction needed to raise the lowest altitude on the road. Yeah. Okay. Any more? Thank you.
Thank you very much to Dr. Tone Magister for this explanation. Many answers on your questions should be answered by Mr. Krapesh, which is representative of Minister of Infrastructure. Why he's not here tonight, he promised we will ask him another time. So with this, I would finish this unofficial official part of this meeting. Now, before we go on the back side of this room, I would like to announce also that this year we are celebrating 20 years of our Slovenian IAOPA. We started 22nd of March 1994, and at that time we had a lot, 96, I'm sorry. We had a great help for many other organizations. Among the first is Switzerland IAOPA that helped us to enter international organization. I use this opportunity to give a little award to President of Swiss IAOPA in the name of our Slovenian IAOPA.
Mr. Benedict Forge.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. We have been here for the flyout of IAOPA Switzerland last year to celebrate a little bit anticipated also these 20 years, and as I said last year, 2 small countries have to join each other because otherwise the big one would just crash on the wall. And as long as we can do this, I'm very happy, and I'm always happy to be here. Thank you very much.
The Swiss IAOPA is an example how we like to become one day, not in our lifetime. maybe. They are still, they are rich and with very good tradition, and we are still having them to represent us sometimes in remote meetings like was last year in China, and we'll ask them in the future. So thank you very much once more. Another one goes to IAOPA of the United States of America for a long year cooperation and support to our organization since 1996. As you know, when we reorganized our organization, we became also, if you became a member of Slovenia IAOPA, you automatically became United States IAOPA, so we were the biggest organization on the world. 100 Slovenian and 40,000 Americans. So I would like Mr. Greg Spence to take a word on behalf of the United States.
I also want to introduce Dirk, who is Senior Vice President for Marketing with AOPA US. First time joining us over here, and I think this is sitting in your office will remind you of what we have coming forward every day. So,
thank you, everybody. We'll be done tomorrow.
I would like to say thank you also to IAOPA Regional Vice President Mr. Martin Robinson for cooperation and support to our organization. He's helping all the time, and I'm happy that we have this regional meeting here at Slovenia. It is because of him.
Thank you again, Slovenia. And it's always been a pleasure to visit this wonderful country, and I'm sure I'll be back again. So, Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, it's a great honour to be here with you in Slovenia and particularly in Ljubljana. I know a couple of words of Slovenian, which is Dobar dan. Not even sure if it's the right time of day to say it, but I'm really pleased to meet you. What we'd like to do right now is just to recognise a couple of people for what they have done for IAOPA in Slovenia and generally for general aviation. So I'm going to call out a couple of people, and I'd like you to come up, and Craig will present you with a plaque. So the first person, who not only have I come to know as a friend, I think I can say that, but he often will meet me at an airport any time of night and day to make sure I get to the hotel here in Ljubljana. So that gives me great pleasure to say thank you for your services to general aviation and to your dedication to IAOPA Slovenia, and to ask you, Drakov staff, to come to fill out the support. Okay, next person I'm going to ask to come up and collect the award. I've only met a couple of times, but I know this person to be passionate about aviation, and if I may say so, he's got a real character about him as well. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite Peter Mann, in recognition of his involvement in the founding of IAOPA Slovenia, to come and accept this plaque from Craig. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Martin.
Did you have?
Yeah, it's also me again, here this time with small recognition here for the big effort of CA Slovenia. And I would like to present this little award here for the president of the organization here, thanking them for a really great cooperation, which I haven't seen neither in Germany, nor in the United States, nor in Austria. It has been a pleasure, and I thank you very, very much for this cooperation, a great country and a great organization. Thank you very, very much.
So with this, we are finished with our program. I invite you, all of you, to the backside to take a little drink, what is acceptable, and to speak a few words together. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we are working.